for a little Q&A. Alright, let's go. William Proto asks, would you consider making Power Crunch premieres a regular series? I would like to, though I would like a little feedback from you guys. Would you prefer it to be purely audio or keep filming it? If you do want us to keep filming it, I would prefer to start doing reviews as soon as we leave the theater and get in my car, because part of what made the Power Crunch premieres difficulty in uploading consistently, aside from all of us having different work schedules, was that as soon as we leave the movie, we instinctively chat up a storm about it and immediately get burnt out with nothing else to talk about when we start filming. I know that Jeremy from CinemaSins and Brad Jones and a bunch of other people already do the car review thing, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to try it out, especially if it makes it more entertaining. Of course, if you guys don't like it, feel free to let us know and we'll work something else out. The MLG Avocado asks, what are your favorite and least favorite episodes of Death Battle, Cartoon Fight Club, and Fatal Fiction, and how would you rank the series from worst to best? To be perfectly honest, I haven't really seen much of any of these shows. In fact, I've never even heard of Cartoon Fight Club. Fatal Fiction I've actually seen several episodes of, since they were made by our bud Proto. I saw the Samus vs. Iron Man and the Mega Man vs. Astro Boy episodes. Granted, I saw those a long time ago because those episodes are old as hell. I think my favorite is the Pikachu vs. Agumon. That was a pretty fun stroll down memory lane to watch. I haven't seen a whole lot of Death Battle. I think when I first came across them, the Vegeta vs. Shadow fight was just recently uploaded, back when they had like 10,000 views. I think the last and most recent one I saw was the Iron Man vs. Lex Luthor. That was some pretty legendary animation right there by Torin, whatever, you know who I'm talking about. The dude with the sweet mohawk right there. To my understanding, they even used some of our calcs for a couple of their videos, which is pretty cool, although being credited for them would have been even cooler. Anyway, I mean, like, whatever, no hard feelings. I actually talked with Ben a couple months ago. He's a super nice guy. As for the second question, I would prefer to decline from this one, since the only one of these shows I've seen much of is Proto's, and he's an associate of ours, so it kind of feels like we're being competitive by proxy, which is something I would like to avoid doing on a subject matter that's primarily for fun and entertainment purposes. You understand. White Shark asks, how strong and fast is Spider-Man? Damn, patience, girl, we haven't even gotten to the foreplay yet. Zapzaz7 asks, how did you get into versus debating and why? I first got introduced through versus debating when I was like 11 years old, back in either 2005 or 2006. It was back when YouTube was a new thing, basically. Granted, it was nothing like it is now. Back then, it was pretty much nothing but Linkin Park and Disturbed AMVs of various shows and movies and stuff. Still, of course, it somehow still sparked a lot of versus debating spam arguments, which I, of course, took part in. Being 11 years old and whatnot. Then around 2010, I joined and eventually a few years after became the mod of several online versus forums, including Comic Vine, Movie Kodak, the OBD, etc., etc. Though life kinda got in the way, and I've been inactive from all of them for the past several years or so. As for why, I described a bit about this in the project video I made a while back. I was reading some old Kaiju Versus articles on Toho Kingdom, which eventually inspired me to write an entire book's worth of my own fights. Around this time, I was only about like 12 or 13 at the time. I also was watching a lot of Animal Face-Off reruns on Animal Planet as a kid. I'd even ask my older brother to tape episodes I missed so I could watch them later, back when VHS was still a thing. He was like, why do you even watch this? This is stupid. And I'm like, it's not stupid, you don't understand. Well, okay, it's a little stupid. King Bearslug asks, are you covering Shin Goji and HSI Godzilla? You know it, bae. Spider-Man asks, can you do How Strong is Wonder Woman? Sure. Isaiah asks, what inspired you to make the HSI series? Well, I've always been kind of a math guy, and I always had an addiction to fiction, so I figured I might as well put my OCD to use, because I know I'm not the only one here who loves to nerd out. Reckon asks, I love your HSI episodes so damn much, and as such I'm curious, which of them is your favorite? Well, not to shamelessly promote one of my videos, but I would have to say the Godzilla one because A, I've been a Godzilla fan since I was an infant, and B, because I kind of went a little overboard with the humor and it was a nice fun stroll down memory lane to rewatch all 30 plus movies plus the comics and TV series. Joshua Mattingly asks, could you do a How Strong is Iron Man or Sentry? I'd love to, bruh. Pedro Paulo Wanderley asks, do you think DC's universe is more overpowered than Marvel's universe? Well, no. Both DC and Marvel are pretty broken in terms of cosmic, abstract, conceptual beings that run the show. Like with DC, you have the Spectre and the Presence, and with Marvel, you have the Living Tribunal and the One Above All. Dushi Raider asks, could Ultron beat Doomsday? That's a tough one. Ultron has neither the strength, speed, or firepower to compete with Doomsday for very long. On the other hand, Doomsday may have the ferocity, but he doesn't have the strength to bust through Ultron's armor. I would have to say Ultron because even though he doesn't have the physical means, he can still attack Doomsday's mind via mind control, mind fuckery, etc. And he could just assimilate him like he did with the Avengers in Rage of Ultron or everyone else in Annihilation Conquest. And as we've seen in the crossover events of Our Worlds at War and Infinite Crisis, Doomsday isn't exactly immune to mind control. And that's also one place he can't physically adapt with his bone plates after losing, so probably Ultron via underhanded tactics.
This is going very well.
Antonio Gudino asks, Could you please research to see how strong Luffy is from One Piece? I've been looking through YouTube and it seems like either people aren't doing it or they're not doing it right. We may use him for a versus fight first, but yeah, sure, I'd love to. Holo Studios asks, do the Powerpuff Girls! Please, do I look like Jake Goldman to you? J-Dox asks, do you use the Outskirts Battle Dome? Just wondering. Now, it kind of depends a little on what you mean. In terms of the stats we quantify as in speed, strength, destructive capacity, the OBD, I believe, were the first ones to label and come up with them, though pretty much most other Versus sites have integrated the system before, so in that regard, yes. Although we have tweaked ours just a bit as well, so it's a little different. However, my answer is no if you are asking if we use the OBD for research. PowerCrunch does not research characters based on any wiki profiles of the characters as the primary source of information. The process is basically this. I find a fictional character, I do a background check on the series said character is a part of to check what is canon material and what isn't, since we go explicitly by canon material unless stated otherwise. Then, I go through every single episode, movie, or comic obsessively for quantifiable feats, statements, or anything regarding the character's personality traits or backstory. Yeah, like I said, putting my OCD to some use. That means, for example, when researching Spider-Man, I'm currently reading through all 4,665 canon comic books he's appeared in to make sure I have every strength and speed feat down. So, in case you guys were wondering what takes these episodes so long to make, in addition to the Versus series and other stuff, that's why. Felix Dorish asks, why do you not have more subscribers? Well, probably because I'm a loser. Hell, look at my Twitter, I only have like 80 followers. And that's after I've been there for a few years.
Oh, boo-hoo! Let me play a sad song for you on the world's smallest violin.
Seriously though, it is my fault for being inactive. Look how much views my Ultron video has. Now Deadpool. Now look at the view count on the current videos I upload. That's a pretty brutal decline. That's not so bad, I'll get back up there someday. Of course, if you guys want to share this around as much as possible, that would also help a whole lot too, but no pressure. Keaton Spell asks, can you tutor me for math? Well, as much as I'm in dire need of some money right now, there are better tutors out there you can find. Hey Soyam asks, why the hell is your channel not big? You put crazy amounts of effort. Thank you, subscribed, and we'll spread the word. As humble as I want to be right now, please do. That would actually help me so much right now. Joao Sturza asks, are you still alive? No? Kaioken times 1,000 asks, how strong is Godzilla? Answer is, stupid strong. Well, shit, I guess I'm not needed here anymore. Luke Cage asks, how would Ultron stand against Graviton, Molecule Man, or Donald Trump's ego? Answer, he wouldn't. SSJJ Sean asks, holy shit, you're back! As for a question, do you go on the Outskirts Battle Dome anymore? Or as it has turned into Dragon Ball Super Feats plus random sideshows? And which Versus site / series do you like best? Besides yours for obvious reasons. Example, Death Battle, Versus Wiki, OBD, some of the Star Wars YouTubers like Antoina, Bandali, Grey Jedi, and John's etc. I'm sorry, if my crappy pronunciation was any indication, I'm not familiar with the last three. Well, first I'd like to say that I wouldn't have picked mine anyway because that would be pretentious. Second of all, like I said before, I haven't really seen most of any of these, so it's kind of hard to make a decision, you know what I mean? So my deepest apologies, but I can't really answer that question at the moment since I'm not too familiar with anything on there. Muka Buka asks, can I get an estimate on when Godzilla Power Crunch comes out? I'm currently working on all the videos right now, and I'm going to try my very best to start uploading them by the 7th of August. Eddie Nikolai asks, how strong is my boy the Incredible Hulk? First things first, man, you need to put your boy on a leash, he's out of control. Grabbing up hose left and right without their permission and shit?
Go ahead, piss me off.
Better know! Goku the Ultimate Super Saiyan asks, how strong is Superman? There's my answer. Next question. Gray Thing asks, how strong is Peach? Answer, not strong enough to be relevant even to this conversation. Ross Russ asks, BTW, could you guys do one of these types of videos from Fox McCloud? Sure, but just as a heads up, we have something else planned for him at the moment. Itachi Burke asks, how strong is Nardo? Oh, I'd tell you, but you wouldn't believe it. Fall Fool Mark 2 asks, Chrono versus Sora? That sounded more like a statement than a question, to be honest.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
Nah, I'm just kidding. To answer your question, oh crap, we're out of time. Thank you guys so much for all the questions. If you guys could do me a solid and subscribe and maybe follow me on Facebook and Twitter for future updates on the show and such, that would be super awesome of you.
I need friends.
Thank you guys so much. See you when I finally upload my HSI Godzilla. Later.